Brian Miller, Assemblyman in studio now. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Did you have any barbecue?
I had some barbecue about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. You guys worked.
After session was over, I got home, and whatever was cold in the refrigerator, we ate.
How's that handle? How's your acid reflux handle that?
It's okay today.
Okay.
But have some barbecue now. That'll probably activate it all over again.
Nexium helps, they say.
Yes, it does.
Okay. I was talking to Assemblyman Butler, and he had said they were trying to get Herkimer Diamonds as the official mineral of New York State, but that got pushed out of the way for the Jamaican bobsled license plate.
Yes, we had some bigger legislation we had to pass was the Jamaican
Don't get
bobsled.
barbecue sauce on the microphone.
That's right.
We got WD-40 to clean it.
Jamaican bobsled license plate. That was very important. I'm glad we got that through.
Sports betting didn't happen but we did get the Jamaican license plate.
I guess that's going to be part of it.
That's
so
good.
We got the bobsled racing, and then we can bet on it.
No,
Okay.
hold on. You have to explain this to me. There are limitations on the license plate, right, in the license plate style. This isn't a punchline. There is a style that is now Jamaican bobsled looking.
Yes, there is. What it looks like, I don't know. You can get the FFA.
It's got to be very
license plate,
colorful. And
veterans license plates. So now, a legislator out of the city wanted Jamaican bobsled license plate style. So
in fairness, there's a little Jamaica in New York, and there's probably a pretty decent sized Jamaican population in New York City. But that's a tiny little pocket of New York State. That shows you the power they have downstate.
Yes, they do. But it was very important to their constituents.
Yeah.
So,
that's when it gets done.
The Herkimer Diamonds, good idea. Should have been the state mineral.
Not important to them.
Not important enough.
Yeah.
Not enough power upstate, I guess.
Yeah.
So, can I ask? The Supreme Court ruled that it would be allowed to do sports betting a month ago. So,
right.
What was the discussion like? Was it debated on the floor?
Well,
How close were you, and why ultimately did it not go through?
It was never debated on the floor of the Assembly. A lot of discussion here and there. There's a lot of there's some issues with the gaming compacts out there, so that's the big sticking point right now.
Where are you on it?
I'm for the sports betting.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for years. It's just been done in the shadows.
Mm-hmm. We all have a guy.
We all have our guy.
Yeah.
We've been doing football polls for forever.
Yep. I think about the American Legions being busted, and places like that over the years that have been busted for pull tabs and stuff around Super Bowl time. All that would go away.
We did pass legislation last night for pull tabs.
Oh, okay, that has been done.
We did take care of that.
All right.
Went through the Assembly. I don't know if it ever made to the Senate floor. Probably not.
But they can't do a pool though, can they? Can they do
I don't believe so. But this is coming. As soon as we work this out, I'm sure that we'll have sports betting in New York City.
Ultimately, though, this probably is good for the Turning Stone.
Yes.
Because they're going to do it.
They're going to do it.
And they'll be one of only a few in the state. Probably some other Indian-operated casinos will be able to do it. But otherwise, they'll have the exclusivity in New York.
Yep.
So
and,
it'll probably benefit
I guess
them.
one of the issues is they have to bet on the casino proper floor.
Right.
So
right. You got to go there.
That's the issue. Mm-hmm. Then we get some issues with Vernon Downs up there. Mr. Gurrell has interest in the Meadowlands, which is in New Jersey, and I believe they can do it now. So he's not too thrilled on pushing this.
Yeah. Marijuana. Where do you stand on that? Canada has now announced that the
Canada's
entire Canadian soil will be. They'll be planting marijuana seeds.
Not friendly.
Not far away. What's an hour and a half away? Yep. That's a tough issue. It's been legalized in some states in the U.S. I think we need to have some hearings on it. I think, there's some issues with law enforcement. How are we going to deal with smoking while driving or whatever? But I think it has to be talked about, and, we have to see what we've learned from the other states that legalized it in, Canada. So, that's something.
Do you think it's coming?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think it's passed in the Assembly.
And how will you vote on that? If that's
I'll probably vote no on it.
Okay.
That's my feelings. We've always been brought up. It's a gateway to other issues. But we passed some legislation last night to allow medical marijuana to be used for opioid situations, to be a trade-off, for pain management.
Sure.
So there's
yeah.
But there's there's arguments both ways.
Sure.
You know, we're about 53% of the people, 60% want it, 40% don't, but the arguments are very good.
I do wonder. I hear about Colorado. Everybody uses Colorado. Well, you know where it's being done and where it's big. Crime is up. Well, but so's the traffic. That's the problem. There was never any business in these communities. Nothing like today.
True.
Now you have a huge influx of people, and of course you're gonna increase. So I feel like sometimes the statistics are skewed a little bit, and they have to be looked into a little more deeply than just saying, well, crime is up, right?
Let's look at it. I'm an engineer,
right?
Okay, and they tell me engineers don't fit well in Albany because we analyze things, come up with the correct.
They gotta hate you. Oh, boy.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So let's take a good hard look at this, and you know where the facts are. Then I'm sure the votes will be proper at that point.
Yeah, that's it. You like facts. You like 2 + 2 = 4. When an English exam comes, there's so much subjectivity in there. You get to be like, well, you know, I can give them points here, I can give them points here. But as an engineer, it's pretty clear. A 90-degree angle is 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Period.
But that's why we got the attorneys over there.
Yeah.
We can ask their expertise.
What about we're living in a time, I don't want to get into the history of New York because I guess I really haven't paid all that much attention. But in terms of corruption, I can't imagine we're not in a pretty. If you were looking at a graph, we'd be up there pretty high right now with
we probably
the corruption.
hit the pinnacle of you know, that's another thing.
Is it the worst ever? I don't know, but it's pretty bad.
Well, we're all going to say it's the worst ever. It's the worst ever in my time.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, that's one thing we wanted to get through this year was a ethics reform package. Look what's going on now. We got Caballeros being tried. You got Scalos up for his retrial. You got Silver being found guilty. There's corruption all over the place. Pam Harris, she was one of my favorite legislators. We asked for her resignation, and she did the right thing and resigned. Yeah. But we can't push this across. You know, it's election year. The governor's got a real tough race.
Right.
So, but I've never operated that way.
One would think that he would want, being right now, he would want something that would make it look like, well, we're taking a real move in the direction of cleaning Albany up. But I mean, I guess he must feel it brings attention to the fact that it's so dirty right now.
Well, everything points back to all his people.
Yeah.
So, you know. Yeah.
What do you think about Stephanie Miner getting in? So you've got Stephanie Miner, Democrat, Sanctuary City. Liberal, although she's running as a moderate. She's running as an independent. But I got to tell you, in speaking with her yesterday, she seemed pretty moderate. I was very surprised. And then you have Cynthia Nixon on the other side, who's way left, and Cuomo, who seems to be inching to the left to deal with all of this. Has there ever been a better time since Pataki for a guy like Molinaro to be popping in here?
Molinaro's got a good avenue.
Yeah.
If Cynthia can, there's Nixon, and there's the former city mayor out in Syracuse. They're going to split the vote up.
And there's a few others, Howie Hawkins and Larry Sharp.
Yep.
He says if it's not Cuomo, it's him. Remember.
That is what he said. Yeah,
but it's going to be a very interesting race. We're gonna see a lot of opinions out there. A lot of things are going to happen. Molinaro's going to run a great race. He's a guy from where I came from. He went up the ranks.
Yeah,
he understands local government, and he's my pick.
Yeah.
So
right.
We'll see where it goes.
You are running for re-election as well.
Yes, I am.
And this is your first term. You were on the county legislature before. What is the big takeaway if you look back on your term? What's your takeaway?
Well, it's been a learning experience. We go from here to, I call it Kingdom Come, Orange County. We've had to learn how to operate with different forms of government. We got county board of legislators, county board of supervisors. It's different throughout the whole district. Yeah. It's been a great take. I got senators that I've learned to work with, which is going to be a problem now. We got Larkin and Bonasek leaving, two great longtime legislators that could walk in and get things done. We worked with them.
Yeah.
But we have Joe Griffo up here, and Joe's still going to be here.
The Senate is the last defense for upstate New York because they have a very, very thin and questionable at this time majority. If they lose the Senate, that means those crazy bills passed in the Assembly
We'll go to the Senate floor. It'll be passed on the Senate floor,
Yeah,
and they'll go. If Cuomo's still there as a Democratic governor, they may be signed.
Yeah.
But we're still doing our job. We're debating all the bills, and we'll put up as much resistance as we can and put some common sense into it.
All right, Brian Miller, we appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your barbecue.
Yeah, go and grab some so I don't eat more.
Got one question. What was the talk on the spray bottles? Was that discipline in school?
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Bill, we came from a different time.
I
can tell you some horror stories of things that happened to me.
I know. I think this has turned into though I think the students were getting, and I don't know, we're hearing WKTV is reporting that they are special needs students, which might change people's thought. Also, the way it was being done but we did have a teacher on saying, spraying down kids like you would a dog is not the way to go. However, when we look back on what we dealt with, I had a teacher, Prof. Tulpa, who was loved by all, and you were scared going into junior high school from the elementary because he carried a rubber hose. And the whole thing is he would hit you with a rubber hose. Now, and my father had Prof. Tulpa, so this man had been there for a long time. I remember when he passed away, you waited for an hour to be able to walk through during the wake because people loved that teacher so much. I don't think he ever hit anybody with the rubber hose, but he always had it in his hand, and you never wanted to make him do it. So we all survived that.
We all
somehow.
survived that.
Yeah.
I had a fifth grade teacher who would take his class ring and turn it around, and he'd give you a little rap in the back of the head.
That would hurt.
He got your attention, and you didn't do what you were doing.
Yeah.
We all survived that. Was that the right thing to do? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. All right, Brian
thanks,
Miller.
guys.
Good stuff. Thank you so much.